Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I wish to thank you for coming to this press conference. We were making a statement when she called me last night, young lady from Starbuck News. I wish to present to you the persons who are sitting in front. Like I said, we'll welcome you and happy to have you here. Mr. Jackson will read a statement to you. After he's finished reading the statement, we'll entertain some questions. We will let you know what questions Mr. Jackson is allowed to answer or not, because as I was telling the young lady from Starbuck, there's a process and procedure involved, and we don't want to in any way interfere with that process or procedure.
I'm Colin Jackson. I'm an untrained graduate teacher attached to Bishop High School. I've been in teaching profession for more than 15 years, the last 11 years at the Bishop High School. Over my teaching years, I've developed close relationships with both male and female students, whom I have taught. These relationships transition from teacher-student to mature platonic relationships, even with former students who live overseas. Follow me on Facebook and are both in touch with me, seeking advice when needed. I also belong to chat fora, where I debate and exchange ideas with others, some involved in education, some in politics, some in social advocacy. Our exchanges at times become very strident and we fiercely disagree, but in the main, it's never personal. However, recently, Mr. Ruel Johnson, Cultural Advisor to the Ministry of Social Cohesion, and I have had some serious disagreements. Mr. Johnson has adopted an abrasive position as he's exposed as being intellectually weak. As a result of that, he has threatened to have me removed from the teaching service and launch a vicious social media campaign maligning my reputation and character. Mr. Johnson is using information that came to his disposal through a relationship which he is involved in with a person I have known to paint a picture of me that is far removed from the person I am, feeding a media frenzy. Mr. Johnson has boasted about his connections and his ability to manipulate the media to satisfy his purpose. Mr. Johnson started threatening me and stated, among other things, that if I were to ever maintain contact with a particular person with whom he now enjoys a relationship, he will destroy me publicly. To quote him, "I can guarantee you I am doing..." Mr. Johnson recently went absolutely berserk when he learned that this person whom he has a close and personal relationship was still in close contact with me. I have severed all communication with this person, and I have respect for her personal space and feel sorry that she has been dragged into Mr. Johnson's unhinged campaign. But this is not enough for Mr. Johnson, and what he has done is to use his connections based on his position as a cultural advisor to the Ministry of Social Cohesion to report me using the most outrageous claims with the clear intention of having me fired from the Bishop High School. It should be noted that in all of these news releases, including print and electronic media, he has acknowledged that he has made a complaint against me, yet he would not allow the administrative process to take its course, and instead has used social media as well as the mainstream media to accuse me of horrendous wrongdoings. In the process, I have been accused, prosecuted, and convicted in a court of public opinion. It is clear that Mr. Johnson has no respect for natural justice. I wish to deny the accusation being peddled by Mr. Johnson and believe that he is using this as a basis for his self-promotion, disregarding what damage is done to many, many persons' profession, reputation, and character. Thank you.
That's a statement that Mr. Colin Jackson has read to you that captures in spirit what has happened over the last few days. We are privy, authorities at law are privy to exchanges of the media between Mr. Ruel Johnson and Mr. Jackson. We are restrained and handcuffed in what we can say because We respect the administrative process that is taking place. And we don't want to influence that process. Yes, we are aware that a complaint has been lodged, and the Ministry of Education is involved in looking at the complaint. At this stage, it is a mere accusation. In this country, we're not a kangaroo country, and we don't operate as kangaroo courts. If a complaint is made, there's a due process that's involved. The accused must be given his right to be heard and to explain whatever questions may be raised. And at the end of it, a decision is taken. In his case, it's an administrative decision. There are a lot of things that have been peddled and are stated on the social media, which we find rather unfortunate. One, that the man is in hiding. He's not in hiding. He's here, in front of all of you, dozens of you. I can't remember seeing so many persons at the same time in one media group. Secondly, he's talking about that the man, some exit block be placed at ports of entry and exit. That is crazy. About seizure of his passport. He's not leaving the country. And in the meantime, what has happened is, as he said, he's been accused, tried, convicted, and sentenced already because of the social media thing that's going on. Now, many of you may be aware of the letter that Mr. Jackson spoke about. This letter was dated the 20th of November 2017. And it's interesting that the letter was written to Mr. Marcel Hodson, Chief Education Officer. And it was a complaint on a teacher teaching in the public system. There's a Ministry of Education that has systems in place to deal with this complaint. There's a Teaching Service Commission if that has to be applicated. There's a Board of Governors that governs the Bishop's High School. So why are we going on this mad frenzy? Sending every minister you can think about letters without not allowing the Ministry of Education to handle this thing, and what I am suggesting you do. Then he talks about him writing the terms of reference under which these people must operate. He talks about a whole series of things. I can't go through all of them, it will take all day. He talks about obstructing prosecution. What prosecution? Who has been charged? Process takes place. Let the procedure takes place. Respect natural justice. We have a constitution that says that every person has the right to be heard. Allow it to take place. He wants to organize lynching of this man, which he has done. He has been publicly lynched, high-tech lynching. So nothing can change what has happened to him. Huh? He's already done. He's done. Because at the end of the day, he will be exonerated and found innocent, but he's done. Because of this letter. That's why we call it the press conference, to deal with the fact that he's not hiding, he's not attempting to flee the jurisdiction, he respects the procedure that is taking place. We will not make any specific comments about what is being alleged. We can't do that. We are lawyers, we respect the right for these systems and processes to take its own course. Okay.
Mr. Jackson, sir, are you saying beyond any reasonable shadow of a doubt you have never molested any child, never had any sex relations with any student?
Absolutely, absolutely not. Bro Johnson has created this caricature of me as a beast, as a predator. There are many students that could testify on my behalf. On my professional conduct, my ability in the subjects that I teach, the performance record of me as a teacher is there. I have contributed to the CUI in education. I initiated the project at the Bishop High School, did 90% or more of the work. I have a track record of high performance.
Mr. Jackson handled Capital News. Have you ever lived on Durban Street at any point in time?
I have, and many of my students know this.
All right, so this is from one female who she went public and she recalled going to your home and in a text here that she's made public, she